So, congratulations on the movie. It's absolutely really moved me. That's why we're doing this interview with you. I want to ask you, what's a nice Irish boy who is a successful art director in San Francisco with a very cute Welsh boyfriend hopping on the Trans-Siberian Railway to try and meet Russian gay men and women and then documenting it into your first full-length film? I mean, but before you answer that, maybe we should talk about what the film is about.
Okay. The film A Worm in the Heart, it follows myself, my partner Liam. You know, I'm from Ireland, he's from Wales, as you just mentioned.
Yep.
And we travel on the Trans-Siberian Railway throughout Russia, which, as I think most people know, is a vast country. So the cities we stop off on are thousands of miles apart from one another. And we did this because we wanted to get a well-rounded view of what it's like to be a queer person in Russia, a country that is so huge. We meet with activists, Nobel Peace Prize nominees, drag queens, and non-activists alike, as we wanted to kind of really capture that emotion and that human dimension of what it's like to really live in a country that has such terribly oppressive laws and really, really harsh societal attitudes as well.
Why, Paul? Why? Why were you there?
So it's an interesting question, but as I said, I'm from Ireland and Liam's from Wales, and I grew up in Ireland at a very strange time where Ireland was really reconsidering its relationship with this LGBT population.
Yeah.
And, when I was born, being gay was criminalized. So it was only decriminalized years after I was born, and I also kind of witnessed and took part in this transformation that Ireland underwent. I voted for marriage equality in 2015. A couple of years prior, Russia enacted the gay propaganda law in Russia, which banned any content from being shown on film or TV, or even a gay couple holding hands in public. That could be seen as propaganda to minors. So as Ireland was undergoing this massive transformation, Russia was undergoing a similar transformation in the complete opposite way. Liam was, he's from Wales in the UK, and he was born under Section 28. And under Section 28, you couldn't promote anything that would say that the homosexual lifestyle or anything like that was acceptable or okay, which, carries eerie echoes to Russia's gay propaganda law. And he was also kicked out of his father's home when he was 14, when he actually came out as gay. So Liam and I witnessed our countries transform. And as our countries transformed, I just couldn't help. Honestly, I was looking around the world and seeing how the rest of the world was opening up and reevaluating their relationship with the queer community. And there was no place more horrific, really, than Russia. And something just magnetically drew me to this country. I'm not sure why I thought, let's do this, but I'm really glad I did. And we met with some people that have forever touched our lives.
So explain to us, people who are watching this, the propaganda law. Homosexuality is not actually illegal, but they use this law to stop everything. It's a very vague law.
Homosexuality is definitely not illegal in Russia, but it is essentially illegal in the common public sphere. So as I said earlier, a gay couple holding hands walking down the street in public could be perceived as being propaganda to minors. So nothing on TV, nothing in film can promote LGBT people as being acceptable or normal, because there's this odd thought that if you see gay content, people are going to want to become gay. I don't know. It's bizarre. But Russia has a very long history of isolating minority groups and using them as an internal enemy. It's something that a government can direct their population and go, we're not at fault. Look out for those guys. They're going to do something. And, in the USSR, there was Article 121, which if you were found guilty, quote unquote, of being gay, you could be sent to a hard labor prison camp for up to 5 years. thousands of gay men were sent to these prison camps every year for decades, right up until the fall of the USSR. So Russia has this really long history of this fear of the other, and that other
Yeah.
is the LGBT community, and current politicians like Vladimir Putin, they've used that to their advantage. They've used that as a scapegoat,
Yeah.
really.
Let's get your movie into context, because in the middle of the film, not towards the end of the film, Chechnya, a situation exploded. So
Yeah.
how did that affect what you were doing and your mindset as well?
Yeah, it was a remarkable amount of things happened in Russia while we were actually in Russia. We detail other things like domestic violence became decriminalized in
Yeah.
Russia while we were there.
Not just gay, just domestic violence generally.
Generally,
Yeah.
out of nowhere,
Yeah.
the month we were there. So a lot of alarming and strange things seemed to occur while we were in Russia. At the time, we didn't know that this was happening, but it was very clear upon reflection that a lot of the people we met, particularly in the LGBT network, which is a non-profit organization that supports the community in Russia, they knew what was happening. And they were in the midst of trying to funnel gay men out of Chechnya while we were in Russia. And then it was so evident in the people we met across Russia, across Siberia, which is another far-flung region of Russia, just like Chechnya.
Yeah.
People can't talk about this kind of stuff. They can't be themselves, obviously, in public, but it's dangerous for them to really admit who they are, even in private, because you don't know who you're talking to. So we encountered that as we moved throughout Russia, as we got deeper into Siberia and smaller towns and cities. It was really hard for us to meet people, and I think this huge humanitarian crisis that was happening in Chechnya at the same time we were there is really evident in the people that we met.
I know there's some things you can't talk about of your film because the people are still there, but it's very impressive how you found LGBTQ people in the most obscure places that were willing to talk to you. How the hell did you do that?
It was a very interesting process. We initially reached out to the LGBT network Coming Out and other queer organizations in Russia to say, we want to make a film and we want to help promote all the fabulous work that you're doing.
Yeah.
Participate in it, and do you know of any people, activists or non-activists, friends, anyone that you think would like to participate in this film? And we got a few, names and contacts through those people. And then it was a bit of a strange process, but as I met with these people digitally via Facebook or VK, Russia's equivalent of Facebook, I went through their friend list and I started to look for people who I thought, I think they've got a rainbow flag in the background of their they might, be queer and maybe they'll talk to us. So it was a very organic, bizarre way that we found people. And of course, if we were in a city for more than a few days and we met with one person, they'd be like, "Oh,
yeah, you should
be." Actually, do you know what? Let me get my friend. They want to talk. I think I can get them to talk to you tomorrow or later on that.
What was the difference for you from making contact to physically meeting another? How did that move you?
You become part of what Russia's going through when you. I think I had read so many news articles, books, everything about the current situation in Russia before we went to Russia. And I felt like, I really got it, I understood. And then the second we were in the ground, the air, the atmosphere that you're breathing in, right, the illusions are gone, and I'm in this now as well. And it's not just about, my personal safety or whatever. You pick up on what people are saying to you, and the pauses, what they don't say, what comes across their face as they're trying to muster up the right words to try and tell you just what it's like to be them in Russia. So we instantly connected with so many of the people we met in Russia. We're still friends with a lot of people. We're actually going to be seeing a couple from Russia next weekend that we met with in Russia. We would have found it hard not to get those human connections, I think, when we were on it.
You never appeared scared. I was scared watching you. But what was is there one particular scene or meeting that remains with you most of all?
We met with a group of friends in Moscow. Who were 4 transgendered women, and they really had all gone through different things, different walks of life, different stages of life. And one woman we met with in particular, Pasha, um, she had a fascinating life. She had been a sniper previously. She had undergone a lot of, I guess, terror in her life.
Hmm.
The greatest terror came when, after transitioning, her partner, who had seemingly been very supportive of that, vanished and took their child with her. So Pasha currently has not seen her child in years, and she shared, just being with Pasha in that room alone. I for it was, I'll never forget that
Hmm.
interview. It was really moving, and yeah, that was probably the most heartbreaking.
You're about to have the world premiere in Santa Barbara. Do
Yeah,
you worry about any possible bad effects on the people in this film? And will they ever get a chance to see it?
absolutely. They will get a chance to see it. We will be giving this back to all the LGBT network, coming out, any queer organization in
Yeah.
Russia, for private screenings. There is a queer film festival in Russia that is essentially a private event that we will also be applying to.
Hmm.
And so, yes, queer audiences in Russia will absolutely have a chance to see this film. Any queer person that reaches out to us from Russia that wants to see this, we'll make sure that they can see it.
But will there be any bad effects on them though, when if the authorities see it?
We just don't know, but I absolutely, I do worry about the safety of the people in this film. Absolutely. Um, these people were, for lack of a better word, utterly fearless in
Hmm.
sharing us with their lives, their stories, and their homes. They really
Hmm.
opened everything to us, and I can only, I hope the best for them, and we'll support them in any way that we can. It's dangerous to be them in the country they live in, and I hope this film will at least serve as a testament to that.
Hmm. So this is, as I say, is Santa Barbara International Film Festival. Have you got plans to show it yet in any queer film festivals in the US or anywhere else?
Absolutely, yeah. We have plans to show in the United States, in Ireland, the United Kingdom, across Europe, and like I said, I mentioned just previously, in Russia as well.
Hmm.
Absolutely, we want to try and get a well-rounded kind of life. We want This film is for queer audiences and non-queer audiences. This is something that a lot of queer people, I think, around the world will see this and really connect with. But
Hmm.
our aim also for non-queer audiences to see this and go, "Wow, this is genuinely what it's like. This is not a political movie. This is a movie about human connection,
Yeah.
and that's what we hope to convey."
What would you want LGBTQ people here in the US, in particular, to be moved to do after seeing this film?
I think it's really easy to read something and go, "Okay, that's terrible,"
Yeah.
and move on. I hope this film stays with people and that they feel connected to it, and I hope that it will compel people to reach out to their politicians, be it their state senators or governors in whichever country or region they live in, and to press them to make human rights and LGBT plus rights a priority in any further diplomatic relations with.
Hmm.
It is often used as a bargaining chip sometimes with countries, particularly like Russia. We'll give you this if you improve your human rights record or your human rights laws. It is incredibly difficult to help people directly in Russia. They have such things as a foreign agent law, which makes donating to queer organizations very difficult because they could be seen as a foreign agent,
Yeah.
or an enemy of the state.
Yeah.
So really support, protest. Please reach out to your government representatives on any and every level and urge them. There's a huge humanitarian crisis happening in Russia right now, and any further diplomatic relations with Russia should be done through the lens of improving their human rights
Hmm.
laws.
One last question, Ben. Have you built a statue to Saint Liam yet?
Well, I just need the funding. Once I get the funding, that's also part of the film. Once I get the funding, then the statue can go up.
Because we should make a note that he was a superstar. I mean, I know he shared your passion, but it was your passion initially, and I don't know where many of us would have followed our boyfriends around Russia like that.
I absolutely could not have done this film at any plot stage without my boyfriend Liam. He was beyond
Yeah.
supportive. Once I secured the grants for this film, I thought, okay, I'm going to do this film, and you have to come with me. deep sigh, deep intake of breath. He was like, all right, let's do it. And he was so invested. He was fabulous. He interviewed everyone. He was brilliant. He was absolutely fantastic.
It
And
was
I
it adds another human angle to the movie, which was really nice to see. And I've never found a boyfriend who'd ever done it for me. Good luck with your premiere, and we look forward to seeing it spread around this summer around LGBT and regular film festivals.
honestly, this has been such a pleasure, and it's great to talk to you. So thanks for like making the time and helping us get the word out there about this film. Thank you so much.